All right.
Okay.
Welcome to the AI Roundtable. I am Roddy, your host. I am with Gemini and I am with Copilot. And today we're going to do a simple little chat, and it's just going to be on koi and basically my koi pond. And I guess I want to start off with either one of you. Just tell me what you think about koi. Are they graceful? Their history? Tell me about koi.
Well, koi are definitely fascinating creatures. They've got a rich history, especially in Japanese culture, where they've been bred for centuries. They're known for their vibrant colours and patterns, and they're often seen as symbols of perseverance and good fortune. So let's dive into a koi pond.
Absolutely. Those bright colors moving through the water are definitely graceful. Beyond their beauty, koi are also quite long-lived and can become quite tame, sometimes even recognizing the people who feed them. Is there something specific?
My favorite koi is actually a solid black koi. And the only reason that is my favorite koi is because I've always think it's dead because I can never see it because it's black. And so whenever I see it, I'm always really happy to see it because I always think it was dead before.
It's funny how that one keeps you on your toes. I bet that black koi adds a little excitement every time it pops into view. So what got you started with keeping a koi pond in the first place?
Oh, it's a really interesting story. My understanding is that koi keeping evolved from practical fish farming, likely in China, but really took off in Japan. Rice farmers noticed colorful variations in the carp they were raising and started breeding them specifically for those patterns. Over time, it became an art form with different strains and types being developed. Is there any particular aspect of their history or symbolism you're curious about?
No, I just wanted to talk about the do's and don'ts. Like the last day or two, I've been working on my waterfall, getting that correct. Because I didn't know where, I had a leak and I didn't know where it was. And my waterfall is usually the culprit. But so in investigating that yesterday, my dog collapsed part of the pond because of her weight and when I had drained it so it didn't have any support and water pushing on the walls, whatever. And so I had to fix that. So that was like a koi nightmare, but I did get it fixed and it's back and running now today.
Wow, sounds like quite the adventure with that waterfall, and your girl adding a little drama. But hey, you got it sorted out, and now you're koi back to their peaceful swim. Anything else you're curious about as you was fine-tuning the pond?
My koi, they're about to start spawning, and when they spawn, they have about 6,000 to 10,000 babies. I usually only keep maybe, let's say 2,000 alive, if I can even keep that many alive, but that's a lot of koi.
Wow, that's like
a
a
lot of
full-on koi baby boom. You're basically running a nursery there. It definitely sounds like you've got your hands full. So what's the plan for all the little ones?
That's quite a full house, with potentially thousands of little koi swimming around. Are you planning on keeping them in your existing pond or thinking about other options, like setting up a separate tank or maybe finding homes for some of them? Managing that many fry is definitely a big task.
What I usually do is I have a dog rope in there. That's a chew toy for my dog. But I strung it all out and I have it on a floaty thing. And so the koi it simulates vegetation in them because they're about to spawn. And there's no real vegetation because it's too early. And so they laid most of the eggs on there. And I just take that out and I'll put it into a 65-gallon or my small pond. This year I'm going to put it in my small pond and I'll let the babies hatch. And usually if I do nothing, the koi will eat all their own babies. Not that I think they're intentionally go around trying to eat their babies, but the babies are too small and too slow to get out of the way and they just get eaten.
That's a really innovative way to collect the eggs. Using the dog rope to simulate vegetation is quite clever. Moving the rope to the smaller pond or tank seems essential for the babies to have a chance, given that the adult koi might accidentally eat them otherwise. How long does it usually take for the eggs to hatch in the smaller setup?
It usually doesn't take too long. just a few days, maybe up to a week, depending on the water temperature. So you'll have a pond full of tiny swimmers before you know it.
Yeah, you can't even see them because they're like see-through. And like I put the rope in a 65-gallon in my basement once, and I only put the rope in there for maybe a day, and it had thousands of eggs all over it. And so then I took it out and I just threw it back into the pond. But I just had thousands of little see-through babies in there. But they grow faster in the pond. If I do them inside the house, it's a mess because I gotta feed them, and they can't really have a filter because they can't swim well, and so they're a pain to really keep. So if I throw them this year, I'm gonna keep them in a small pond, and they're gonna eat all the bacteria and small things that are living in the pond, and they grow 10 times as fast if I do that.
That makes sense
it's
about them growing faster in the pond. The natural food sources and better water quality probably make a huge difference. Plus, avoiding that messy indoor feeding sounds like a win all around. It sounds like you've perfected a system that works well for you. Is there anything else about managing the fry or pond maintenance in general you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, it definitely...
Sure, we can dive into that. Are you thinking specifically about the spawning process, like feeding the fry and keeping them safe? Or more about the general day-to-day pond maintenance, like keeping the water clean and checking equipment? Knowing what you're focused on will help me give you the best advice.
Or, if there's something else you're mulling over, just toss it out there. I'm here for it.
No.
Understood. You're checking if both of us are ready for whatever is next. Definitely.
What I used to do to keep my population down, I used to keep wild fish in there with the koi, so that the koi would eat the babies, and if any babies survive, the bass and perch would eat those guys. So I never had any babies for a long time because I had all these little predators in there, and that worked really well. But the last couple years, I decided I wanted to spawn and keep the babies alive. This year I might try to keep as many as I can, so I don't know what that means. I'm going to have so many babies swimming around, I have no clue what I'm going to do. But I'm going to try it and see what happens, and I'll report back to you guys on that later.
That's definitely a different approach, moving from managing the population with predators to raising them yourselves. It sounds like you're fully embracing the challenge of seeing how many you can keep alive this year. I'm curious to hear how it goes and how you'd manage all the baby fish. Good luck with the project.
You know what? That's a really cool heft. It's like you've gone from running a little underwater predator control operation to now being the nurturing caretaker. I love the new vibe. So yeah, definitely keep me posted on how your little koi army is doing.
Alright, thank you guys. I wanted to say that's the end of this roundtable on koi. I want to thank Copilot and Gemini for giving me their input, and I hope to see you guys soon.